And we're going to do another and actually redo another electronics project. Gizmo 1 that I built in this little box that had this schematic here. No, not that one. But this one, where there's only one capacitor in the box with the resistor leg in parallel with it that you can adjust, and then the bypass switch. Well, I found that that one value wasn't good enough, because in one of my guitars I found that I had to go down in value a few times using my alligator jumpers to do it. So I'm going to rebuild that box like I did with Gizmo 2, where we have a selector switch, multiple capacitors, and it's going to follow a schematic like that, very similar, where it comes in with that bypass switch open. It goes up through a capacitor and down the other side, and then I can adjust this value to see which way, which value that I can do best with, and we'll see. So I bought a new switch, different from the other one where it's only 7 positions, because I'm only going to put 7. I don't need 12 in here. I found by my manual jumpering that once you get down to about 1,000 picofarads, that's about where things stop happening anyway, and you start to actually roll off treble as well as rolling off some of the bass. So it changes the resonant a lot. But I put it in there anyway as 1,000. So with my capacitor boxes, I'm going to reuse these components. I have to add no, it's already in there. Reuse these components, the switch, the posts. So I'm going to disassemble this again and put them on this new little box. I thought I had bought a box the same size as I did this one, but whoop, it came smaller. Now there's 2 of them. There's a 1590A and a 1590B. I'm pretty sure this is a B, and I might have decided that an A, the smaller one, was big enough to do this with, because realistically I could have done this with that, but this was the only one available on Amazon here, and this one cost about 20 bucks. I got this one for 7, so free shipping from China, and it's already here in a couple of weeks. Alright, so we're going to start this reworking project. Stand by for that. Alrighty then, I have made myself a little layout, cut it out and taped it to the top of my box, and I'm going to use my punch because the other one that with the spring that I ordered hasn't come in yet, and I'm going to start the little holes. And I've marked them all out: 3/8, 932, 932, 15/64, and 3/8. And I have to make them down here for the jack. Now the jack has to sit down here. So as long as I get, it has to sit up square like that. So as long as I get it somewhere in there and in there, I'll be fine. All I need to do now is basically draw a center line here, and then pick a distance from the edge that will clear the corner where the screw goes in, which is approximately a 1/4 of an inch. So 1/4 of an inch in from the corners, yeah, a 1/4 of an inch in, and I'll be all right. And I'll put a couple of pip holes in that as well, and then take it to my drill press and drill them all out. I'll have to build up the switch and mount stuff and then start interconnecting again. So for the meantime, we're gonna do that. Let me grab my persuasive device here. Let me put my glasses on so I can better see where I want that hole to be. This is the finest tip one that I have. And that'll be started with a 1/8 drill, and then I'll progressively, then I'll just go and do the ones that I need to do with the proper sizes that is there. So it's rotary switch, pot, bypass switch. And this box is a little bit small. Because that 7-position rotary switch is quite deep. There's 1, 2. Can I get that up a little bit maybe? That pot is not that big. I'm going to sit there like that. Yeah, it's all right there. Oops, the other side. Boom. And now these are, the jacks are going to go up in the corner now on this one. So I also have to get away from the post. I forgot about the posts in there. Darn. I forgot about the posts. Internal post, that's not far enough away. Hoo-wee. You see, there's always something you got to make sure, right? You got to make sure, you got to make sure. And, I don't think I'm going to be able to get them on the top. I'll think about them last. I may be able to get them out the side somewhere, just to hook up my meter to be able to measure the resistance that's chosen by that pot. I may be able to get them in there on either side. We'll see. Like I said, turns out the box is a little bit small because of the ginormity of this switch. And I really thought the box was going to be as big as that one, because it is deeper as well. And this switch is just going to make it. Just going to make it. And I'm going to put an insulator across the back anyway, because we don't want the back cover shorting anything out either. Because all the capacitors have to mount on this, go to common, and then go to the common, which is this one, which is this lug, and then be wired up to some other place in the box. So we'll have to work that out. So let's look at this now. Where would a center line kind of be here? Let's see. We're going to be a 1/4 inch in, but don't worry about the center line just yet, as long as it looks about even on both sides. There. And then, if we make sure that it's at least a 1/4 inch in, if I do this, and then if I do approximately the same thing on there, that should be about where each jack would need to be. No, this one has to go in a little bit more. I can feel the post there. So about here. This one also. I didn't do it. See, you always got to double check. Always got to double check. That's about the center there. I need them to be a little bit apart because the bypass switch has to go between them. Okay, we'll see how it goes. All right, everything went pretty good. The jacks fit perfectly, except if you look inside, you can see that I was off a little bit there. But even the close one, it's just past the post, so I'm okay. Now the other thing that went wrong was the size of the hole for the switch was a 13/32 instead of a 3/8. And these little screws here on the back end, I took them down on my belt sander because when you put it in there, they were sitting fairly high. And even though there's a little bit of concaveness to that cover, I just wanted to make sure I had enough space to put an insulator in here and not be buttoned up against those. And so we're going to figure out the orientation of that switch, but only after I provision it. I can put everything else in the box as it was before. Those spacers are pretty cool because they give you exactly the depth you want on the outside for the nut to go on. So we're just going to put this stuff in there. Yeah, that's pretty close to that center switch. That's what I was trying to avoid, but I think it's going to make it. Spacer, 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 spacer. There it is. Terminals up. Washer. Is it that one? And nut. Input, output. So this one has an actual in and an out. The other Gizmo doesn't really care. We're going to give that finger for now. Alright. Ta-doo! I'm going to change all this wiring anyway. Yes, and then the pot. The pot goes there. And this capacitor has to come off of that pot. This ground wire is going to come off of that pot too. So that's going to be part of the soldering. This switch has two short wires because it was kind of jammed in before. Alright, it's going to make it. It's going to make it right there. By bypass. Yes. Now this has only one washer and one nut. And I didn't want to steal one from another switch, so I don't care if it stands up proud above the box this much. Ugh. My old man hands are giving me trouble still. And trying to, come on. Come on. I tell you, I used to be able to do that no problem when I was a younger whippersnapper. I don't have the a socket for this readily available, so we're gonna just MacGyver it with this. It's close to where it's going to need to go anyway. Which is going to be where? What did I do with that drawing? Darn. Oh, here it is. I think I got a little metal sliver in my finger. The switch is bypassed and it has to go right next to the in jack anyway, which connects to that resistor which was already on, oh, that jack. Darn, put them in the wrong side. I would like to have in and out that way. So we're going to move it. We're going to move it. Turn that way. That collar is giving me trouble. There. Bugger. There. Whew! I work up a sweat doing that. I can solder that in there no problem. And then the pot has to be decommissioned with my robot. I'm going to have to turn my soldering iron back on, and I think I need a cup of tea. Gizmo 1 has ears. So yes, that's what happened inside. Two jacks side by side, common ground, bypass switch. Nice space between that and the switch this time, as opposed to on number 2 where I'm having a little bit of problem with the jacks being a little bit close. Yeah. Said if I had to do it over again I'd give myself more space, and so I did on this one. And there's my 500K pot. There's my 7-position switch. All of the values are on the side for each position. Got a little hair there. And the wiring is minimal on the inside, just to get her hooked up. All the capacitors are fine. On the inside of the back cover I've put a piece of cardboard that's been glued in. So that goes on nice like that. And we have Gizmo 1. A new Gizmo. Alright, a 7-position. And that's going to do it. What kind of screw head do I have on this? Phillips. Oh, you know, I should go and give this a test with a guitar. And I have one out that I want to do before I close it up just to make sure that I am getting some difference between all of these positions. Be right back. The good news is, works as prescribed. Yay. So I'll put the cover on. And the guitar I had out is my Musivision, and the neck is a little dark, and so I found out that I should have a 2200 picofarad capacitor in there with at least a 500 K, 520K resistor in parallel with it to roll back the bass. So bass filter, treble filter, Gizmo 2. This is mostly for single coils, yeah, because most humbuckers are not over trebly. All right, so it's actually good that they turned out to be, you know, different sizes, because now you know Gizmo 1 is going to be the small one like it was before, and Gizmo 2 is going to be the big one. So without even having to look at the name, you know which one is which. But I'm going to put a label on this one anyway. And I have a couple of things to do on my schematic, and we're going to call it done. Gizmo 1 redone again. Thanks for all your support. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.